Hello again. As you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy. Today's class is going to be on using Acronis disk imaging software for data recovery. So the first question, of course, is what the hell is Acronis? Acronis is backup software that you normally use, you normally install onto either a computer or a server, and it backs up the computer. It uses a type of technology called disk imaging. What disk imaging does is it takes a snapshot of the entire hard drive and stores that snapshot as one single file. Why this is useful for backup systems is that you can do something called a bare metal recovery, where if the hard drive fails, you simply put in a new hard drive and you can recover the operating system, the software, all the files. You can put that computer back to the last time it was backed up in about an hour. So the bare metal recovery disk imaging allows you to put a computer back to literally the exact state that it was at when the last backup was performed. You may have heard with disk imaging, the product that most people know about is something called Ghost, and so people actually call this process either disk imaging or ghosting a computer. I like Acronis, so we're not using a Ghost here. So what makes Acronis nice for data recovery that goes beyond at least what I've seen that Ghost and some of the other disk imaging products can do is the first thing is that they allow you to create a recovery CD. What this allows you to do is to actually back up a computer by simply booting off the CD-ROM. So instead of having to install the software onto the computer and then backing up the computer, you can simply put this recovery CD into the CD-ROM, boot off of it, and then back up the computer that way. That's nice because then you don't have to install any programs, go through the whole megillah of that. Or if the computer has too many viruses and such, and you just simply can't install anything because the computer's too messed up. So basically, to back up a computer for data recovery, all you do is you put the CD in, you boot off the CD, and then you tell it where you want the disk image to be stored. The other nice thing that I like with Acronis is if you install the Acronis software onto your computer, as I'll show you when we get to the demonstration component, you can actually navigate through the disk image just as if it was a normal folder on your hard drive. So although the software, the Acronis disk imager, stores everything into one single file, if you have a data recovery computer that has Acronis installed on it, you can then just simply double click on the backup, that disk image, and open it up just like it was a C drive or just like it was a folder, and then you can navigate through and grab specific files and folders. So basically what you can do is you can back up an entire hard drive into this disk image and then go through and selectively pick out the individual files and folders that you need. We'll go into to a little bit of the philosophy of this in a minute, but that makes life really easy. So basically, this class is all about using Acronis disk imaging software for backing up and recovering data off your clients' computers. So you may have heard the introduction. You think, well, that's interesting, but I don't understand why would you really want to use this in the real world? I mean, maybe you can imagine a few instances of using this, but why would this have been a cornerstone of my business? I mean, we use this lots. We use this tons. Well, the first thing that makes this very, very nice software is that you can back up these disk images to an FTP server. So when I had the shop fully running, we had that massive file server that stored up to 8 terabytes of data. So the first thing that we did with the Acronis software is if we had a client who had too many viruses on their computer, basically their computer was fine, but it was just gunked up with viruses. We were going to have to do a reinstall of the entire operating system. Well, what we could do is we could create a disk image of that entire hard drive and be able to safely store it on our file server. Because since Acronis stores all the data as a single file, you don't really have to worry about all these viruses and nasties getting onto your file server. You know, if you actually copied over the files individually, there is a chance that you could trigger these viruses or something else that would infect the file server and infect other files on the server. When you ball that entire backup, all those files and folders into one TIB file, these are all stored in just a format called TIB. Once you do that and put that on the file server, then it's all nice, safe, and secure. So you have all the data, but you don't have to worry about viruses and all that other garbage getting loose. The other nice part is, again, remember ID10T errors. I just love that error. That clients sometimes forget what they have that is valuable. So they may say, you know, just save my pictures, or just save my videos, or just save this, or just save that. And then if you just do a copy and paste or a cut and paste, you may save exactly what they told you to save. But then their wife tells them, or their husband tells them, oh, you did tell them about the documents here, or you did tell them about this, and they say no, and then all of the data is gone. Or other problems that I've seen is people store data in weird places. I've seen people just store all of their documents and everything straight on the C drive or under random files all over their computer. And so if you only go into the My Documents or you only go into the desktop to get the files and folders, you may miss a huge amount of data. And once you do that wipe and reload on the computer system, it will all be gone. So before you get into wiping and reloading, if you just do a complete backup of everything, then even if you miss something, you can go back and you can recover it off of that backup file. Like I said in one of the other data recovery classes, I would suggest that you have a large file server to store your backup data on. Like I say, with 8 terabytes of data storage, we could keep about 3 months worth of clients' data on that server. So if somebody came back in a week, in 2 weeks, in a month, we would still have their data. In the real world, that's important because, you know, as I used to tell my employees, you can be 100% right and 100% fired all at the same time. Being a professional technician is not simply doing exactly what the client tells you or asks you to do, but being enough of a professional to do the things that the client would not even think about asking you for. So this is one of the things where you can really make your life easier. The next part that makes your life easier is the Windows permissioning issues when you do data, backup or recovery. It can be a bit of a problem. I need to do the class, we will do the class on doing permissions and taking ownerships of files and folders in Windows. But as with everything with Windows, that kind of stuff can just be a pain in the butt. So you can see the file, you can see the folder you want, but for some reason your computer isn't giving you the right permission to actually be able to copy and paste it or do something. With the Acronis backup software, you just cut through all those permissions. Those permissions go bye-bye, which is wonderful. So you just, when you back up all the data, it gets backed up, and then when you go to get it, all those permissions are just gone. So you don't have to worry about all of the Windows files permissions that may be causing you issues. So this is why and basically how you use the Acronis backup software for data recovery. So basically you put the CD in, you back up the entire hard drive to a file server that should be large enough to hold quite a few. Then you go back and you can actually use a computer that has Acronis installed on it to navigate through that backup file and grab the files and folders that you want. Again, since everything's packaged in one thing, you don't have to worry about viruses getting out and weird little nasties happening. And as long as you have a large file server, you can keep that backup file around a little while in case, again, your client forgot what they needed to keep, which happens a lot. So we've gone over a little bit about Acronis, what it does, how it does it, etc. Give me 1 second. We'll actually do a demonstration where I'm going to show you how to back up an entire computer onto an little external hard drive, and then I'm going to take that little external hard drive over to my main computer and show you how to navigate through it. It's all dirt simple, but this class, we've got to show you how to do it so you've seen it before. So give me 1 second and we'll go into the demonstration. So this, of course, is a standard Dell computer. I already have the Acronis CD in the CD drive, and we have this little external hard drive to back up the data to. In the normal world, like I say, I would back up the data to a file server. Just for this demonstration process, I'm going to use the external hard drive because it makes my life easier. So we now turn the computer on. We hit F12. That puts us into the boot menu because we need to be able to boot off of the CD drive. So we tell it to boot off the CD drive. And Acronis starts loading. Now you have a couple of options here. You will always have, you can either click into the full version of Acronis, something called the safe version, or you can bypass everything and go straight onto Windows. Just do the full version. I don't really understand what the point of the safe version is. It is there. I'm sure it does something. I've just never been able to figure out what it does. You, of course, have the normal logins or the logo screen. Now that is one thing, if you're going to do a USB hard drive or back up to a USB hard drive or back up to the FTP file server, make sure that either the hard drive is plugged in before you boot the computer or that the network cable is plugged in before you boot up the computer, because if you're using the hard drive, it has to detect the hard drive, and if you're using a network cable, it does have to actually pull that DHCP address. So if you don't have it plugged in, you may have problems. So from here, it's pretty simple. Just hit the backup button. So you click on backup. Now it gives you the option of either My Data, which will just be data files, pictures, documents, PowerPoint presentations, etc., or My Computer. If you're doing this, especially for a client, if you're doing it for yourself, do whatever you want to do. If you're doing this for a client, do the entire computer. Remember, IV10T errors, clients do really stupid crap. So if you don't back up the entire computer, you really might miss something. Of course, this now asks what partitions do you want to back up. So we want to back up the C partition. It'll tell you the backup size, so this is pretty small, 11.17 gigabytes. It also gives you an option for backup sector by sector. This is supposed to be for if you have a bad hard drive. And all the time we use Acronis, and I love Acronis, and we use the Acronis a lot. We use Acronis daily. We never really found the benefit of the sector by sector. I mean, I'm not saying it won't work for you. I'm just saying it never did much for us. If you have a bad hard drive, I would suggest that you put it on that data recovery device we had a class about. That will do you much better than trying to use this software. So just click next. Then create a new backup archive. Yes, of course. So browse. We're just going to do Western Digital. And then we'll do, just call it data. Data? Oops. DAT. Yes, even master geeks have problems. Data. So data, and like I say, it's a .tib file. So Acronis, saves files as .tibs, and then we click OK. We hit next. Congratulations. Let's go to summary, and then we say proceed. And so now it's creating the backup image. Depending on how fast the processor in the computer is, how big the hard drive is, this can take a bit of time. So I did a test on the little external hard drive we have in there now, and it took what did it take? It took about 15-20 minutes. That was for 11 gigs of data. So depending on what you're doing, it could take a little while. So we'll let this run, and then we'll come back to it when it's finished. And so we're back to the backup operation, and after, I don't know, 12 or 13 minutes, it backed up all the data. So this is 11 to 12 gigabytes of data going to an external hard drive. Took a few minutes. It's not really that huge of an issue. So basically you just say, okay, and then you're done. You pull the external hard drive out of the computer. We're going to take this over to the desktop computer, and I'll show you how to navigate through the backup file that's on here. It's really that easy. So let's go over to my desktop computer, and I'll show you how it works. So now we're sitting at my Windows 7 computer. I have Acronis installed on the Windows 7 computer. I plugged in the Western Digital little passport hard drive, and I've opened up the folder where our backup files now are. So the Acronis created 2 of these .tib files for the backup that we created. You will see that the 11 gigabyte hard drive, when it just did normal compression, it compressed it down to about a 4 gig set of files. So that's not too bad. So if you're thinking about that data server, if you can get half the space saved through compression, that's a pretty good thing. So all we need to do, since the Acronis software is installed on this computer, is we just double click the tib file, and we can now simply go into it. So we just double click on this icon, and now we see the C drive of that other computer. We open up the C drive. All the files that you're used to seeing. It was a Vista computer, Vista 64-bit computer. So you see program files, x86. We can go straight into the users folder. We can go to user, which was the main user, and we can look at what they have. We can go onto the desktop. We see there was a little executable file that I had there. You can go into documents. You see the my pictures, my music, and look at this. We can do this easily. We're just without worrying about the Windows file permissions. We're just cutting through Windows file permissions. Now all you need to do to recover files here is, let's say we want to recover this documents folder. All we have to do is we simply right click, we say copy, we then minimize, and then we paste. And we've recovered that documents folder. We can now, this is now sitting on my desktop in completely, no encryption. It's not in any weird file folder. You don't need any software installed. This is a normal folder now. It's that easy to extract data out of the backup file. We can double click on documents, and we go in and we see it's documents, my music, there's nothing in there, my pictures, my videos. We can now just go in and grab any data that's here. It's literally that easy. All you have to do is install the Acronis software onto the computer that you'll be using to navigate through the backup file, and then you simply just go into it and grab the documents and folders that you need. It's that easy. I wish there was more to it. So let's go back out to the real world, and we'll have some final thoughts on this. So that's all there is to using Acronis disk imaging software for data recovery. It's pretty simple. You just throw in a CD, you do click a few things, and it runs. As long as the hardware is functioning well on the computer, it runs like a dream. If the hardware is failing, well, You got bigger issues. Generally, what we used to see is that if the Acronis was failing to back up the hard drive, that there were normally issues with the computer, CPUs overheating, problems with the motherboard, etc. So remember, if you're having a problem with the hard drive, it may not be the hard drive. It may actually be the hard drive controller on the motherboard that's causing issues. So if you're having issues using Acronis for data recovery, you may have bigger fish to fry. Basically, you may be having bigger problems. Acronis is nice because you can either back up to an external hard drive if you're at a client site, so you can take this little data recovery or the Acronis emergency CD with you. You can go to a client site and you can back up the data on their site to an external hard drive. Or if you have a shop, you back up straight to an FTP server. Like I've been saying, you should have 4 to 5 terabytes of storage on that server, and then you can keep the backup file around for a while, because believe me, your clients are going to forget which files should be recovered, and it doesn't matter if you're right, they're still going to be mad at you if they don't get the data back. It's not politically correct, but it's true. So just CYA, cover your ass. Why not? It's easy. The Acronis backup software does cost. There's the Home Edition, which is $50, and then they have multiple other editions. You can use Acronis. What Acronis is normally for is for backup software for computers. So they have the home version for just home computers. They have the professional version for workstation computers at an office, and then they have the server versions. Basically, they go from $50 all the way up to $2,000 in price. How do I put this? For legalese sake, this class showed you how to technically do something. We showed you the technical ability of using Acronis for data recovery. I do have to watch myself, and I'm saying it now, so I've said it. I'm not sure what the licensing requirements of Acronis are. So just keep that in mind. I'm not really sure if Acronis is licensed to really do what I just showed you how to do. If Acronis is watching, we used to sell a crap load of your product, so you better not come after me. We used to sell the $600 and $700 versions of your product, so please don't come after me. We've done well by your business. But just keep that in mind. You can go to Best Buy and you can pick up this $50 CD. I'm not sure what the licensing is on that CD though. I just have to say that for legalese sake. If you want the home version, I have seen this sold at Best Buy and Staples. But you can also buy it online. That's where we used to buy the server software and all the other variations of their software. Is you just go to acronis.com, it's acronis.com, and you see everything they have. You can buy all their products and download them. The little buying process takes you about 10 minutes. It's no big deal. We used to do it a lot. So this was using Acronis disk imaging software for data recovery. As you know, I'm Eli the Computer Guy. I hope you use this. This is wonderful software. Like I say, I've put my nose into other computer repair shops. I've been doing this for a while, and I've seen the mess other people use, and I don't know why. Trying to copy and paste or cut and paste or FTP clients, all that garbage. It's all garbage compared to this. This one little product will save you time, energy, and it's the way to go. It's the Eli's stamp of approval. This is how you should back up your client's computer if you have to do wipe and reloads. It's the only way to go. So again, I'm Eli the Computer Guy, and I look forward to seeing you at the next class.